What's good, everybody, man? It's your gearhead, Mr. Logic himself, and we thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure if this is your first time that you hit that subscribe button. You already know how we get down, man. We have a special guest today, you know what I'm saying? But before I let that go in, I hope you guys are having a good week. I know it's been stressful with the holiday season, everything going on. Be careful with that little bug going around because a lot of people getting sick and, shit's real. Holiday season's crazy. So allow me to introduce my beautiful co-host.
The lovely Nate.
All right.
And my boy, Sir Daniel. You already know what it is.
And our special guest today right now is El Rey. You feel me? Brother from a different mother. And we got the one and zeros on the keyboard, man. Say what's up to our boy. Mr. L to the U to the IS, yo. Mr. Lewis himself, yo. Big dog, baby.
Hell no, ones and zeros. You already know what it is.
All right. So, and as you know, this is one thing for sure, two things for certain, baby. So I'm actually going to switch it up today, man. I'm going to be introducing the topics today. But before we get into that, let's break it down as ladies first. How's your weekend been going so far, so love? Your birthday's coming up, right?
It is going up, you guys. Can I make a special announcement? Guys, okay, so next week is my birthday, and as a lovely birthday present, I'm going to be hosting next week's podcast. So it should be fun. I'm definitely gonna be
what's wrong with your face, bro?
Messing with Jason.
Huh? No, it's
Were you in another dimension just now?
No, I'm listening to your news.
Oh my
God. In another
dimension.
That's because that's what I do when I space out.
Mm-hmm. Continue. So you'll be hosting?
I'm going to be hosting, so it's going to be interesting. It's going to be a surprise.
It's going to be a surprise?
Yes.
I hope y'all ready for that, because you already know last time, niggas were getting ready. Saucy. Why? I feel like you be targeting the nigga, Like, as an old head here, it's like...
You have to, have some fun.
You saying I don't have fun? You know what fun is?
I know what's... Jason, come on. Anyways,
it's not my phone.
Right.
If you've ever seen anything on TikTok, you'll probably have a good idea about what she's gonna have us do for the show.
None of that.
She is the modern woman.
What about you? Actually, let's get to Lewis, man. How's your weekend been so far, my G? Nigga, speaking to the camera, cuz.
He can't.
The camera's
not working.
I'm sorry. We apologize for the technical difficulties that we're having, but Lewis is saying he's 160, he bitch, and he's been doing good.
Yeah.
What about you, Ben, man? What's going on, dog? I heard you bagged the MILF this week. What's good with that?
So,
a MILF, of course, walked into the bay for their Jeep or whatever as a stick.
She wanted him.
We were just chatting, You feel me?
Lies, bro.
Swap numbers. I didn't get her number. I gave her mine.
Like a G.
Like a G. Supposed to go.
Hit me up at 3 a.m. when you're feeling kind of lonely, kind of horny, playing the dick in the middle like mole.
But it was purely for professional reasons. It was like
nigga, say that with a straight face.
Right.
Yeah, you think? Boy, your lips quivering like.
It was purely for professional reasons. I says to her, hey, look, if anything, since you have Total Tech, you're a Total Tech member. I asked her, do you want my personal or do you want the store number? She's like, it doesn't matter. So I was like, okay.
Shit. I ain't going front, yo. I was there and I was like, oh, I'll be damn.
Has she hit you up?
No.
Oh. Not yet. But remember what I told you, Doug. When she does, I want to know her stock portfolio. I want to know what she's invested into. This woman got bread. I just want to know where she made her investments. I don't really care about for the whole sexual side. I'm trying to make a business for myself.
I'm not gonna be thinking. Yeah, I wonder how diverse her stock portfolio.
I would, boy. Listen, boy. You know what? Change topic. And for our guest, man, Mr. Ray, man, the big dog, man. How's your week been going down so far, Doug?
Very long work week.
Long work week?
Yeah. Fortunately. But, the weekend is coming up and I'm going to have a blast for sure.
Okay, shit. I feel you on that one. As for me, man, my weekend it's been topsy-turvy, man. Your boy went through some little rough shit, but, I'll be all right. And on that note, we don't got T here. So T right now, unfortunately, is having a little bit of some health situations going on. So we want to send her our love and our prayers, and we ask you to do the same. She's a soul jet. So she'll be back soon enough, yo. So T, if you're seeing this, know it's all love and we thinking of you, baby. We love you. All right. Now, on that note, my weekend has been good, As I said, it's been fun. It's been real. But at the same time, it don't be feeling like the holiday season. Does it?
It doesn't. My job hasn't been playing any Christmas music.
No.
I'm so upset.
No Mariah Carey?
No Mariah Carey.
Happy.
You're happy?
Mariah Carey needs to go back to the earth where she belongs.
Nah, I'm the Grinch, yo.
I just like the
Mr. Grinch.
I love it. I just love all the Christmas movies and music.
No, I mean, so I like Christmas because it makes people more charitable and like closer and happy together. But the reason what pisses me off about Christmas is that it's the pinnacle of like Western consumerism.
Fact.
Oh yeah.
So literally, and I don't mean to sound like a communist.
No, you're not. But you're like,
no, it's true.
Like, literally, what it does in my mind is that it distills all the good behavior to one day, so everyone can just act shitty for the rest of the fucking year.
Why do you think I don't like Thanksgiving?
Yeah, dude. Like, and you know, like, and I get it. These are important because like we have to live regular lives, so it's good that there's a mandated day that we all have to set aside our differences to get together. But it's literally just like government mandated fun. If you don't do it, you're a weirdo.
But then, like, if you also take a look at it, like throughout the rest of the year, there's also like other mini holidays that you can celebrate and come together. Okay, so
yeah, but not easily
take,
like monetized as like the big ones like Christmas
right.
and Thanksgiving, Valentine's, St. Patrick's.
I mean, okay, some people like taking out like the history in it. Some people will like, you know, use the excuse for 4th of July to do like the barbecues. And then, you know, for Thanksgiving, like, you know, at least Hispanic and Latinos don't, you know, really.
It's more family oriented.
It's more family oriented. Like, it's just the excuse of, okay, let's get together and eat. And then Christmas, you know, we celebrate Nochebuena instead of doing Christmas Day. And, you know.
Be making horchata?
Yeah, depending on the culture, yeah. And
I'm still waiting for a plate of food. I just want to point this out, yo. Like, I feel insulted because, you know, Nate, she's fucking Mexican and Cuban. And I taste the Cuban, but I love authentic Mexican food. Like when I went to Cali, oh my God, yo. This chick looked like she was built like a Mexican wall, but I would have wiped her up just off the food, boy. Like the food was hella fucking good.
And other just many holidays throughout the year, like just use the excuse to come together and eat and just chill.
Yeah, but it's like.
But it's definitely Christmas, at least for me. It just my childhood growing up. It was just my parents really did put the effort to decorate and give us presents and really just, you know,
bring that vibe to life.
Bring that vibe. So every time I think of Christmas, it's just warm because of my family.
Okay, that's
not because of the consumerism, but obviously as an adult, I do it.
Well, to you viewers out there, we hope that you're having festivities that are going well for you and
for
that
the
holidays and everything's in spirit and whatnot. I think we've been working so hard that it feels like we're kind of disconnected. You know, like this year's just
like it's
so
just another
fast,
day.
like it's rapid. So on that note, I'm going to get into the topics of today. You know what I'm saying? I'll be giving out the topics. And actually, this topic comes from our lovely co-host, Nate. And I'm going to let her start this one off. The topic is basically the do's and don'ts of modern dating versus traditional.
Yes.
So would you break that down for us, bro?
Yes. Okay. So everybody has their own personal, like, you know, rules that they follow through, you know, their own standards. And modern people are very different than traditional people. I mean, let's take you and me, for example. So let's say my standards and what I look for in a guy, you know, could be very different than what you would look for in a woman. Or let's make things even easier. Like, you know, Ben and Jason, modern, traditional, both men have two different views of like women.
You think I'm a modern man?
Kind of.
You're modern like Call of Duty, motherfucker. Like, come on, man. What about you, Ray? You modern or traditional?
You know what? Let's first make it clear for everyone. What do you consider modern and what do you consider traditional?
Okay, so traditional. And I'm going to take some points from Jason and from my parents because my parents are also very traditional. The traditional sense, you know, the man is the head of the household. The woman, you know, she like cooks and like cleans. At least that's like how my parents' dynamic is.
The back support and
she is
to hold it down.
Exactly, yes. Because obviously without my mom, I know for a fact my dad would just crumble.
Facts. So I do want to, not to cut you off, I want you all to understand don't listen to these misogynistic pricks like Andrew Tate and Fresh and Fit podcasts of what a traditional man. These motherfuckers are not traditional. What she's saying is, for a traditional household, the woman is truly a strong member of the family. She keeps the man sane. She makes sure she keeps going. It's the motivation.
Whether the man knows it or not.
Exactly.
Because and this is my personal view of and experience from the traditional sense. from my parents. But yeah, and it's vice versa. Without my dad, I just know that my mom, she would also crumble. Like, they need each other. My mom literally told me, because we were in the topic of like having kids and stuff, and she said, oh, like no woman really ever prepares 100% for having kids. Sometimes it's like an accident. You could be hoping and planning that it would happen, but out of nowhere, like you don't know when your body's going to decide to get pregnant,
and you're never really ready.
Yeah, you're never really ready. That's what I hear a lot of parents say, that you're not really ever fully ready. And she started like saying that when she was younger and growing up to be a young adult, her dream that she wanted in life was to be a mom and a wife. She never really had any aspirations for like a career.
Demonized in today's culture.
Yeah,
which is sad.
That's terrible. No, we're not getting into that.
I'm happy that you caught yourself, my man.
But you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. Like, you shouldn't shame people for, having a certain like dream. If your dream is to just be a family-oriented based life, that's completely fine. And my mom was that. And my dad, of course, has his job. He's he has a good work ethic. And they fit each other very nicely. Like, he needs her, she needs him.
That's beautiful. Okay, so before you continue, are you traditional, Ray, or are you modern? Would you say?
I would say modern.
Okay.
Okay, what's your understanding of a modern man?
Because she still has to explain what modern is.
Oh.
I just wanted to say, so you would say you're modern, right?
I would now, or in between. I'm not too sure.
No, don't step back now.
No, you could be in between because it's balanced, as we change with the time.
I would say he's very modern.
You would say he's modern?
Yeah. So what would you consider modern?
Yeah.
More modern is, I feel, again, my personal opinion, experience, I would say would be more equalized, more a partnership than it is a like traditional.
You control this side, I got this side type shit.
Yes. Like I said, very, very equalized. Both people in relationships are partners. Like, of course there is the caring, like I got you, you got me, but we are two individual people going through life together.
I feel like that makes sense because, and I have to be real, because when you're in a traditional setting, back in the day, the women wasn't really working. You know what I'm saying? And because in the modern world, both male and female are working, it kind of changes the dynamic of how things work. You have to compromise more. And I think that's one of the things that really infractions traditional men like myself who don't want to understand that. Not speaking for myself, but like for my other homies who are like traditional, I'm like, yo, you kind of have to understand, dog, like they work too. They're tired. So that list of things that you expect of her, you're going to have to help out. Like if you think she's going to work a fucking 12, 13-hour shift like me, and be like, yo, I'm going to cook. Like, nah, help her out. You know what I'm saying? Like, meet halfway. That's why I feel him when he says, like, it's a mixture of both. Me, I think I'm more strong on the traditional side just because, my whole demeanor and the way I was brought up.
Of course.
And also my age has a lot to do with it. But Ben, what would you consider traditional woman, men, and what would you consider modern women?
No, I mean,
men?
I feel like Nat pretty much hit it on the head. There's just two people living their lives individually together, and that's. And it was she managed to distill it so perfectly. Is where I find the problem with like modern dating. Because versus traditional dating, because with traditional, right, you come together to work on a singular life, whereas modern dating, you just kind of you get together with the expectation of I guess like being there for each other, but there is less
like a mixture of both versus
it's just
traditional.
The need to stay with one another isn't as strong as it would be in the traditional relationship. Because I think, and when you said that actually reminded me of what my ex told me when like we were like talking initially. She said that I remember she said to me, "I don't need someone there for me. I just want someone to come along for the ride." right? I want to live my life, but I want someone to come along for the ride.
That's pretty serious, if you ask me. Man.
No, because like think of it like this though. Mm-hmm. It's like I'm not gonna change anything I'm doing for you. You either like take me and allow me to continue living my ambitions, or like this isn't gonna work out. Whereas traditionally, both man and woman, either one person gives up one thing, and it's usually the woman that gives up like her greater ambitions, like in terms of like career wise, right? To help like the man grow, because if the traditional man in the relationship, if he's doing well, she's gonna do well as well. She's gonna play her position. She's gonna play her part, but because she's assisting him doing better is what's gonna help her in the long run as well.
I feel like that's kind of dangerous, man, because
you're crossing like a thin line.
Yeah, because okay, in a relationship you sacrifice anyways, right? We know that.
It's compromise.
But like you compromise. And I feel like one of the things that makes it so scary, especially for modern women to be traditional like their mothers, we witness how a lot of women who played their role got taken advantage of.
Yep.
And that's something we don't want to talk about, but we have to. Because the truth of the matter is, if we don't talk about it, we don't find a solution. You get what I'm saying? Like, I know my mom played her position and, still shit didn't end up right. Same thing with my aunt, same thing with my cousins. So it's really kind of hard to dissect that. And as you said, man, when you think about it, women, I think, make a way bigger sacrifice in a traditional relationship versus the man. Whether, man, you guys might want to be mad at me saying this, but let's be honest. It's just more than raising the kid. It's literally taking the L in order to gain a win. You get what I'm saying? Because a lot of times we see that women like, yo, I gave up going to get my degree, as you said. I basically chose to have these kids, but I also made a lot of sacrifices. You know what I'm saying? And I think on a mental scale, women like yourself who grew up seeing that could traumatize a lot of modern women who didn't want that for themselves because, imagine growing up, you hear your mom's dreams that never happened because she chose to make that sacrifice. She wasn't forced, but she chose to make that sacrifice. And a lot of women don't want that for themselves.
And then once you're old enough, then you kind of start feeling guilty. Like, damn, like I feel like I'm responsible for ruining my mother's.
I hear that. My only thing with that is this is like basic human psychology of people not knowing what they want, right? So let's say that man or woman, right?
My one for my birthday is a big booty hole.
Put on the list. You heard me, Santa. But also like my whole thing with that, like certain like aspirations and dreams, that's running rampant in today's society, like especially with the modern women and becoming like boss babes and stuff like that. I don't see anything wrong with that on a base level. There's nothing wrong with that. But what I think is happening is that, and as I said earlier, that the idea of your dream being a homemaker is being demonized, right, and belittled. So, like, let's say that, because like you'll see this is very clear for a lot of like business type people, and it hits women the hardest. Is that they get all these accolades in their field. They have their degree, they got their PhD, they got all these awards. They're at the highest level.
They're sacrificing so much in the process of that.
And listen, they got as high as they did, but they have nobody to give it to. Once they die, it's all gone.
They take it with them.
There's nobody to remember them. So it's like I remember watching a video that's like, what would you rather, right? Like, what would you rather, like all these having all these awards or accolades or what have you, or in real time witnessing the next birth of the generation, right? It's like you're a grandma at a cookout and there's like 75 people, but those 75 people came from fucking you. Like you were the reason why all these people are like,
to be very honest,
by that because like, because the tangible thing like family, it's what's going to keep you warm rather than like a plaque on the wall.
Ain't no fucking diploma gonna keep you sane when you're really going through it. Like I can speak like when I got the kids at the house, even though they're not mine, they're my nephew and nieces. Yo, it's like dopamine, man.
Yeah, you're looking at them.
You look and you just feel empowered to want to be around.
Right.
And like trust me, they get on my last fucking nerves. But when they're at the house, it's enlightening because like, damn, we're a family, we're a unit. This is beautiful. Can you imagine going? And it's the same thing with men who choose their career like
their family. Yeah,
like I've seen men cry, like millionaires cry before my face, like, yo, I can't get my time back. My son's 16. I missed his whole childhood.
No, yeah, and the same thing happens for men as well.
Yeah, man. So it's crazy.
As coming from a group of people who do like soon want a family and do value family, there are some people in this world that don't really want to start a family. And of course, which is respectable, and I understand. And when it comes down to that, I really like just mind my business with that, because I will never feel what they feel and they'll never feel what I feel. And if they choose in the moment to like not start a family and have those plaques down the line, like be the only ones like comforting them, and if they ever do decide to like regret it, like I kind of wish I had a family to like my accomplishment, then that's on them.
No,
and I've learned to separate like that.
Yeah, but that's
you.
Mr. What's the Tuya says, when does having a family outweigh the need to progress towards your goals? Hey man, that's based on the individual.
Oh yeah, because like you have to be willing to sacrifice. Like what Jay said, that like you reach all these all your goals, you get to these levels, but you sacrifice watching your kids grow up. Yeah, right. So you have
for the greater good,
realistically, for the greater good, right? But it's just like
at what cost?
Exactly, at what cost? It's like, yeah, I did this. Like, it could start initially that you're trying to reach these goals so that your family is better off. Yeah. But what do you think would be better for your family? Having, all this money here, or being involved in their lives? Like, because
both are needed.
Yeah, but
like remember, you only get one chance at being a father. You get one chance at being a mother. You get that one time as a grown up, and can't get that time back. What about you, Ray, man? Like, you quiet, my nigga. What you think?
I don't know.
I mean, I know your family definitely sacrificed a lot to get you here.
Yes.
So you could have a better future.
Yes. And my dad, he worked his butt off to get us where we're at right now. I really do think that, working and putting all your effort into your job, into your future and stuff like that, it is great. But, your family is, I would say personally for me, more important than anything. Yeah. You would have to find a way to balance that. And even though it's going to be hard, it's always great.
Always are.
Yeah. It's going to be worth it at the end of the day, because you only get one chance, like Jason said.
All right. So on to the next topic. The lovely Nate also chose this as a topic of discussion. The professional way of saying fuck this shit.
Yes.
Explain what you mean by that.
Okay. I don't know about you guys, but I, for a fact, have looked at customers. That's because I worked in customer service, and I looked at customers in the face and I'd be like, man, fuck you. And I wish I can say that. I really wish I can say that.
I mean, you could, and it's gonna work out good.
Not gonna work good.
Damn, yo.
The thing is, if I was a manager, if I was like a manager or someone in charge of a store or whatever, I would actively encourage my employees to tell off customers.
Yeah.
I would actively encourage it.
See, I can't agree, and the reason why I agree, well, we all have worked together, and for my viewers to let you guys know, you disrespect my guys, I don't give a fuck. You don't disrespect my guys, because at the end of the day, I understand we have a job to do, but we're human beings too. Mm-hmm. And there's such a limit that we could take, because a lot of people, this is one thing that you don't know what people are going through. Yeah. I remember working in customer service, and this lady was being fucking disrespectful, bro. Like, I mean, fucking pendeja, like, you fucking bitch you. Mm-hmm. So instead of snapping on her, I told her, like, listen, do you want a drink of water? She's like, you trying to be smart? I'm like, listen, you're playing with your life. And she's like, excuse me? Are you threatening me? I'm like, you don't know what people are going through. And you're obviously going through something. And you have to understand, some people just don't care. If you're in a bad mood, mama, stay home. I understand we were at fault because we messed up her order. But I was like, I'm more concerned about yourself, that you're putting bad energy out. And I can see that you're frustrated. And it's okay to take it out on me, but it's not okay to take it out on my guys. Mm-hmm. Okay? Because They did nothing. We're trying to find a solution. And it takes a special person to honestly understand that. And the only reason I can understand that, because, you know, person dealing with anger issues, but some people just need to be, you know, I don't want to say checked, but aware of their situations. Because, again, we got drama at home. We got drama within our own lives. And when you deal with those people, sometimes you just want to say, fuck it. Because it's like, if you don't care, why the fuck should I? And I think that's like the hardest balance, man, because sometimes like there are some nasty individuals. It's like when I was in the hospital, right? I'm not going to talk shit when my life is in your hands. But there's some people where their family member's sick and they're giving the attitude to the nurse. They're giving the attitude to the doctor. I'm like, how dare you? You're here for help. Yeah. And the entitlement.
This is not retail.
You
know, Mr. What's it
this
to
is
you
life
says,
and death. And
the best way to professionally say fuck you is to do your job as best you can. I like to call that malicious. What's that word?
Malicious intent?
No, it's like when you like adhere to something.
I mean, that's what I do, dog. Like
malicious something.
Like I'm not saying I'm flawless, but when it comes to work, yo, I shut shit down because not only is it a reflection of me, but the best
compliance. There you go.
Compliance.
Compliance. Yeah.
No, but it's like, okay, like respectfully saying, fuck this shit. We all been there. You get what I'm saying? Like, and most times it's come with family. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, you ever had that one family member who's like, yo, you know what? Fuck this shit. I'm not dealing with this.
Yeah.
Because like, I feel like saying fuck this shit, I'm not dealing with this is a form of self-love. In some weird way, like when that's defending yourself because you know that, you know, your work is like, this is not worth it. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck this. I'm not dealing with this. I don't deserve to be dealing with this. My value's too high to be dealing with this bullshit. But I think it's frowned upon because we've been subconsciously programmed to put up with shit. But when you know your worth, you're like, nah, I'm not dealing with this. Respectfully.
Like one way to say fuck you or like fuck this in a professional way is like you were saying with the customer, just be like, I would vastly appreciate it if you could just not. And that's more of a modern response.
Yeah, you're right.
Because maybe like, can you just not?
What
I would vastly appreciate it.
Is like I like because we have all worked retail, like to me my guys come first. Even if we mess up, they're a human being. Watch yourself.
I just wish all managers were like you, because I know for a fact that not all managers are like you.
Well, the thing is, and I can only speak for myself, the thing that when it comes to other managers, they got to put food on the table. Yeah. And they're looking out for themselves. And not everybody's going to be sacrificial like me. But to me, remember when I said I don't recognize red flags, I try to understand it? Yeah. It's the same thing in the workforce, because the way I look at it, I might be above you, but me being above you doesn't make me better than you. It means I'm held to a higher standard. Right. And I have to basically take that role on, because my main focus, and no disrespect to my job, is my guys. You know what I'm saying? Because without my guys, I don't have anything. I don't have a job. Just like without customers, we don't have work. But at some point, we have to start defending our guys, because nothing hurts a coworker or an employee under you is when you know they're in the right and you ask them to take a L. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that makes them feel like, am I worth anything to you? Yeah. Why am I here? If you're not going to protect me, you're like, you let this lady scold me, you didn't even check her. I'm just a pawn, and that fucks with people on a mental level. So as a supervisor, I analyze things. I'm like, you know what? Change the narrative, change the direction, because it wasn't working. And I'm not saying I don't expect other managers or supervisors to be like me, but I think because I come from the bottom and I had to work my way where I got, I saw all the wrong people in the wrong position of power, and it's still the same thing. And I think that's what kills the workforce, because they hire the wrong individual. They hire the dick rider versus the one who actually cares about their guys and the position.
Like, I mean, that's how it is. It's all politics, dude. It's all popularity. You have to be able to play the game.
Annoying. Like, there's people in the company, I'll call it how I see it. There's people in the company that where I work out, they don't deserve their position. You know what I'm saying? Like, they literally don't deserve their position. But the respect that we have for ourselves is like, and I say this in a respectful manner, is like, yo, like when a lot of people are like, oh, Jay, how do you deal with that? And I'm like, honestly, because they're going to die there. You're such a shitty person that at least I can speak for myself. God willing, You know, God forbid I lose my job. I know because of my craft and how I hold myself accountable and how I treat others, I'll be able to basically redeem myself. It may not be as quick as I want, but the goodness I do honestly opens doors. But those individuals who are in power, who are truly foul and conniving and backstabbing, they are stuck where they are. And that's the thing. Misery needs company, and they know they can't take that bullshit anywhere else. So what they do, they try to inconvenience others, or they try to drag them down in their own bullshit.
Crabs in the bucket.
That's in the corporate world. That's in the retail world, and it's crazy. What do you think, Ray?
On your point, yeah, bro. Like I've seen it, I'm seeing it, and honestly, it's messed up because when you got someone that been working their ass off, getting for what
and actually care about the job,
and actually care about the job, and each time they go down a position, they go chase others and do good in that position. You know, when they see that, and you know, you ask them, yo, help me out to move up to manager spot or do
it's
something.
It's the politics of bullshit. It's crazy.
You see people move up, and you're like, how did you get there? And then you're like, you know what? I know why.
Yeah. Right?
I know why.
You either sucking dick or fucking slinging dick. Like, and I hate to be that person. Like, one thing that really irritates me, and I'm happy where at the store I'm at now, but like when I first started in the company working, retail, what used to piss me off is like, yo, you see the store is busy, right? Attitude reflects leadership. How can you tell me that I'm busy with a customer to go jump on the register when you could do it yourself? And that's another thing that kills the workplace. Just because you're in a fucking certain position of power, your responsibility is still there. Lead, meaning jump on a register just like us. Do a carry out just like us.
Exactly.
Assist like us. Because if you want us to do it, you got to be doing it as well. You just can't be out there pointing fingers. You know what I'm saying? A true leader gets in the trenches. A fucking boss just calls out the shots. And that's something like, yo, shout out to big homie Catone. Like, he's one of the few GMs that I seen jump on a code 1. And I was like, damn, dog. 16 years in this company, I've rarely seen any managers jump on a code 1.
Code 1 means they need help at the registers.
You feel me? But what they will do, be on their phone. Oh, yo, go handle
gossiping about something.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like a fucked up high school. And me, the way I look at it, if this was high school, I was that cool kid in CSI.
What was that song, The Second Puberty? Who was the artist?
Who?
Second Puberty, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, you showed me that song. Second...
Well, you having brain farts today.
No, it was Second Puberty. I'm almost positive that song you showed me was Second Puberty. Second Grow Up or...
Oh, Second Childhood.
Second Childhood, there you go.
So in the streets, we have a saying, it's called second childhood, right? And what a second childhood is, it's not a good thing. You know what I'm saying? It's people who never grow up. It's like the dude who's my age, 35, but he's hanging out with younger kids who are like teenagers still because he can't hang around dudes his age because they got their life together. So he preys on young kids because he just likes the attention. Or the girl who has a child, but she doesn't do what she needs to do and give the child the love that he deserves, leaving the kid at grandma because she still wants to basically live the life as if she's still young. And that's the thing that we fuck up as people because it's like, as you get older, dog, you got to accept your fate. We made these decisions, own it. You make your bed, you lay in it. But especially in this city, how many people do you know that are of age and they're still acting like they're still in high school? And to me, that's scary because you're closing so many doors doing that. And it's like, yo, it fucks with my head because it's like, yo, you're not scared to be living a second childhood? The only time that was acceptable was like if you become a millionaire, you can live your second childhood, but within reason.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What do you think?
I think people that have a childish mindset at work should, and their regular employees, regular associates doing whatever there is they doing, they should be left there where they are. If you don't have the ability to help other people grow with you and, help other people out the correct way instead of talking that behind their back, you should be left where you are.
I mean, I'll be real with you, man. I dealt with all types of people. And one thing I would always tell you guys, and for anybody who's watching this show, if you find yourself in the workplace and you feel like you're dealing with that, always defend yourself. But if you're going to defend yourself, be willing to accept what comes with that. I would never knock anybody for speaking their mind. I prefer you to speak your mind, even if it might hurt me, because at least I know you're being real about shit. The worst shit I fucking hate, and this is, again, they're going to die there. These individuals that I'm talking about, they're going to die there. They got nothing else to go. No one's going to put up with that shit. And because they know that, they use it as like a fucking weapon, you know, especially when, you know, making false promises and whatnot. And it's like they'll send you to do something, and when it fucks up, instead of saying, yo, that's on me, they leave you out to dry. And what ends up happening, it spreads like a wildfire in the workplace, because it's like, damn, dog, this nigga put me in that situation. He doesn't even have my back. So guess what ends up happening? That employee is going to spread that to the next person and the next person, and then you lose the trust. And once you lose the trust, it is hard to regain that. And a lot of times I feel these companies, whether it's corporate, retail, or even in offices, in doctors' offices, it's a bond. And you have to understand, you got to sometimes think outside the box. Because when you go by the book, you know what I'm saying, you overlook certain situations that you should be able to peep. If you want a happy coworker, we'll give you the best of them. But once that's taken advantage of, it's hard to come back from that. And it's hard to jumpstart that, because what ends up happening is a lot of these guys go through that and then they move on to another situation, and that trauma's still there, and they're scared to care again because they already got taken advantage of. But nobody wants to talk about that. And that's the problem, especially in the workforce. It's like, well, this is a job. Yeah, we understand it's a job, but you're spending the majority of your life here. Show some type of compassion, show some type of concern, show some type of respect and love that you would want to receive. And when they don't do that, bro, it's cancer, because it kills the vibe. Nothing is worse than when you got a team who doesn't feel appreciated. It's like being in a relationship. What happens when you're in a relationship and you don't feel appreciated? You start drowning.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, my whole philosophy currently for how I deal with jobs is just to try to keep yourself at a healthy distance, right? Don't let the politics of the workplace like take over. Like literally, like what me and Jason do, and another one of our coworkers, we're literally in a bubble in our workspace. Whatever happens in the store, whatever, literally doesn't get to us unless someone physically comes in to tell us what happened. And honestly, I think it's great, because it's like, I don't have to, when I wake up, I'm not stressed about a problem that's not related to fucking cars.
What's the two says you can't help people who have no ambitions. Well, I don't disagree with you, but here's the thing about ambitions. Ambitions is purely motivated on emotions. And when you're in your emotions, it's almost like being impaired. You don't think rationally. And what that does is that hurts your ambitions. And that's something that, again, we don't talk about. Your ambitions is your true heart, your true calling. But when the wrong person's in your circle or you're in the wrong situation, it's very to lose sight of that. And then you just become numb to everything. Like, it's like talk is cheap.
Pause that. I'm seeing in the comments that we're having a audio issue.
I think the mic aux is sticking out a bit. You gotta plug it in all the way. Overcast C. Okay. Louis, if you could check that for us.
Bless you.
Salud.
Amazing.
I got inside my shirt.
So I want to hear your final thoughts on this. You go ahead first.
We went on a tangent, actually.
Oh, in regards to the audio, we were probably just gonna re-upload the video and render it. The audio's gonna be better.
For the inconvenience.
So this is just a live, but when the video gets re-uploaded, the audio will be better. So you guys, on your drive to work, things like that, and your darkest hours.
We do thank you for tuning in, though.
Yes, of course. Yes, thank you so much. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Yes, sir. So your final thoughts on your final topic, which is
professional ways of saying fuck this or fuck you. Yeah, we went on a tangent, but basically you did hit pretty good few points.
Cool.
Wow.
Yeah, just like fuck you.
That's my final thought.
Just no.
To the workplace. No, I mean, but if you were to, I'm sorry, I did. But I think to bring it back, the most professional way that you could say fuck you to a person is, I hope you have a wonderful day. Or have a good
Wait, actually, I hope you have the day you deserve.
I know. Yeah, that's the one that I knew that's the one you were thinking, because that's that video that you sent.
What about you, Ray?
Oh yeah, I did.
You did send that, yeah.
Yeah.
Killing with kindness. That's what you always do.
Killing with kindness. Honestly, I don't feel like people should be disrespected in any way. So if I feel like I'm being disrespected, I'm not gonna disrespect you in the way that you're doing it. I am going to be polite about it, and I'm gonna make sure that you know what you're doing is incorrect and wrong. So I'm just gonna make sure that you know what, buddy. I'm sorry, I can't help you out. Unfortunately, I'm not gonna do whatever you want me to do.
Period.
I will say this: I'm a little bit sinister about it. Like when I want to hurt your feelings,
you will.
Like I will, and words are very powerful. For like if you're a foul person, my response is, I hope you live forever. And they don't understand that. And they're like, God, excuse me. I'm like, yeah, I hope you live forever. And the reason why I say that, I hope you live long forever, so you can see everything that was good in your life leave because you wanted to be a piece of shit. And I hope that you suffer for the wrong things that you do. See, death comes to those who are good, not those who are bad. And the way I look at it, yeah, I'm going to tell you, I hope you live forever. That way you learn from your lessons, because that's the most worst thing you could ever go through, is knowing that you fucked over so many people, and now you got to live with that and lose and watch everything you love go away. So I hope you live forever.
Yeah, that makes me think, why was it like the classic villains and shit? Why were they always looking for immortality, dude? Like, bro, I honestly, I feel like immortality would be the worst thing of all existence, dude. I mean, well, it depends on what kind of immortality. Is it like you just live forever, or do you have like super healing or something like that, right? But the thing is, imagine you get trapped under a big old rock, or someone just throws you in cement.
Yeah, I don't want to live forever.
I want to live for the moment. You feel me? Like, to me, that's like the worst punishment. Can you imagine living forever? You got to say goodbye to your young nephew. Like, I don't want to say good. It's like the saying, my kids will bury me. I'm not going to bury my kids. You get what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
On to the next. Let's see what's on the next board. This one is actually a topic for Ben, and we're going to let Ben, Ben be getting critical on it. Homie knows what he's doing. So Ben's topic is, are modern movies pushing an agenda? Ben, take us in.
I wish I had popcorn.
Hollywood is trying to brainwash the masses, people. You have to pay attention to what's going on. They're trying to tear down the American family and American values. You can't be a strong man anymore.
Preach, brother.
You can't be a feminine woman anymore.
Amen.
They don't want regular people. What's happening? What's happening is that they're swapping the ideals of the gender roles. Now you see women, and here's the thing. Me and Jay were watching an anime. It was Daughters of Rin. It was, right?
Good anime, right?
Good anime.
I love it.
Perfect example of a strong woman. She was beating the fuck out of niggas, but she wasn't getting in a one-on-one slugfest with these guys.
She was getting fucked up.
Yeah,
she had to put the effort,
but she was being analytical. Yeah, she was being analytical about her fighting. She had to outsmart her opponents.
Because they kept it real. Like, she's a woman. They overpower her. And I think that's like, if you want to see a good movie, okay, you got Wonder Woman, right? She's strong, but she's cool. But
she's strong because she's a fucking immortal Amazonian,
When you see these action movies, you want me to believe a shorty who's 120 pounds could take out a nigga who's 400 pounds without a struggle? Let's be 100. And let's be real.
Like, I don't mind them kicking the shit out of people, but they literally make it look effortless. It used to be, even in movies with action heroes, like Die Hard. Or like The Last American Hero.
Atomic Blonde was one of the good movies because she's a spy, but she gets fucked up in that movie because those guys are fucking her up, and she had to be analytic in the head to fucking outsmart them to get that L.
These super macho guys even get away with these fights that easily. Like fucking Indiana Jones. Whenever he got into a slugfest, he was always getting fucked up. Yeah, walking around, just with a limp and shit or whatever. And another thing that's fucking happening, that's so disgusting.
Oh, shit.
He's going
another thing. They're not done.
They are destroying, these established IPs for the sake of pushing this agenda. Like what's happening. And you guys can look this up.
Mind you, there's nothing wrong with a strong female.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing. We encourage that.
I love that.
But
be realistic. Make her struggle. Make her earn what it is that she's going after. Don't make these people perfect and don't turn these movies into 2-hour lectures. You know,
Right. Wakanda Forever.
like,
that was another
that-
one.
that was,
bro.
like, dude.
Or Women King. Oh
Like,
my
bro,
God,
what was it? The Dulabi? I forgot the name of the fucking tribe, but they're trying to prop them up as these awesome Amazonian, freedom fighters, but they were just slave traders like everybody else in Africa around the time.
Let me educate the group on that. Yes, they were slave traders, but once they found out how the slaves were being treated across the world, that's when they revolted. But the problem is with the title Woman King, why couldn't it just be Queens of War? Like, why do you have to sabotage the title of a male?
I mean, do you think it was more wordplay?
It's an agenda.
Wordplay. Like,
because when you hear Woman King, automatically what comes is a woman with a man's type of ego or a man's type of title. And it's like, we take away the beauty from women.
Like, bro, literally, and people with the connotation of when you hear king, you hear some of absolute power.
Yeah.
But what people seem to forget that there were some ruthless fucking queens out there, man. There were some diabolical ass motherfuckers out there that were women.
Queen Elizabeth, in her reign, they didn't invade only 22 countries. The number of countries that they didn't invade. And then it started to cut you off, Ben. Like when you go deeper into it, here's the thing. If you know history, like I'm reading the book Art of War, women are so powerful. Who do you think the ninjas were? Who do you think the assassins were?
The most useful ninjas were the kunoichi, the female ninja. Because why?
They were able to infiltrate and get the job done. Like, so give them their flowers and acknowledge the power that women have. It may not be in the macho braggness, but women, even naturally, you guys are very you guys are capable. Women are capable without having to become these big brutish monsters.
Fact. I said it in Mr. Ratatouille. Yeah, we were watching Daughters of Rin. I only watched the first episode so far, but that shit's fucking goated, dude. Like, it's actually really fucking good.
You're welcome.
Good. Yeah,
you're welcome.
Because I remember he was like, I saw there was a Blu-ray disc on the floor, and he goes over, he's like, oh no, oh fucking no. He picks it up, he's like, my shit better be in there. I'm like, bro, what is? He's like,
my nephew's pissed me off.
It's the greatest anime of all time. I'm like, bro, that's some fucking boomer shit. He fucking, and here you go. He pops it in, and I was just like,
no. He's going like crazy, and he's like, yo, Jay, let's go get some food. I'm like, oh, we're gonna eat. He's like, no, I want to go back and watch the anime. I was like, all right, man, he's hooked. You know what I mean? That shit, it was good. It's really like she's a detective.
Yeah.
But she's
a PI.
Yeah, but the way she responds, she's feminine.
Yeah.
She doesn't have like a male egotistical. Like, she is feminine.
And on top of that, she's fucking gay.
Well, she goes,
oh, whatever. She's a more like the premise is this. She's a PI. She's immortal, and she just spends her days solving mysteries.
Wait, what's the name of the show?
Daughters of Rin.
Anime. Yeah. Daughters of Rin.
Yeah, Rin, Daughters of Memoncine or whatever the fuck.
Interesting.
Konnichiwa.
It's really good. It's really good.
It's really good.
So literally what's happening is that they're switching the roles, and we're masculinizing women and we're feminizing men. And the reason why that's bad is you'll hear this has been said before. Strong men create good times. Good times create weak men.
No, you're saying it right.
Strong
men create easy times. Easy times create weak men, and
weak men create hard times. And then that, it's a cycle that repeats itself. Well, what's happening when you feminize men, these feminine men become more dangerous than what you consider a toxic man.
Facts.
Why? Because if you
manipulation all across the board.
And this is just like simple biology. Everyone understands that women are more in touch with their emotions than men.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
And there's nothing wrong with that. But if you force a man to be more in touch with his emotions, that means being more emotional. And when a man is emotional, that is a very dangerous thing for everybody around him.
Archie says the opening of that show is one of my top listening songs, same with the ending. Yeah,
it is pretty goated. Yeah.
But like to piggyback off what Ben's saying, it's like, yo, when you feminize men, right, what you're doing is you're creating an unbalance. Right now, you have an entire generation of men who make me scared. They don't know how to, and I'm not saying you got to be like me, like a gearhead, but you have a whole bunch of dudes saying, I'm a king, you couldn't even change the tire off your car. You know what I'm saying? It's like when I hear, oh, she doesn't cook. Why don't you cook for yourself?
Yeah.
How come you're not self-efficient? Being a man, there's always going to be an opinionated statement. But to me, what being a man is basically being able to take control of the helm and do what's right. Not because of your title of being a man, but doing what's right. And even if that's taking a loss or basically doing what you got to do. And we have a generation who's so in touch with their feelings, and that's good because back in the day, men didn't have an outlet. But they're so touching their feelings now, they don't have a direction. They don't have a path to exert that out. Like, look at what's going on. Because of men being feminized and being so much in their feelings, they don't even know how to accept rejection. And that is fucking scary.
That is a terrifying thing. And on top of that, on the inverse side, when you have women that, the very same women that demonize these characteristics in men, they then take on these characteristics. Like, what is that supposed to mean, right?
Andre goes, homie, I cook last month and changed the tire on my car. You're a gearhead like me, homie.
I mean, like, and that's what's being, that's what I believe is being pushed in modern media. And clearly, I mean, very clearly, you can literally see it everywhere. There are girl bosses everywhere. Again, there's nothing wrong with girl bosses, but you have to
still be feminine.
Yeah, my suspension of disbelief can only go so far for the accolades that these girl bosses go for, and the fucking neutered men that follow behind them. Just like talking about how great they are, how awesome they are. When it's like the classic thing of like storytelling: show, don't tell. If you have a character in a show or a movie and all that, instead of showing how great they are, all the other characters just talks about how great they are. Yeah, that doesn't mean anything.
Well,
to anybody.
It's like, you guys know how I feel like about Andrew Tate and these other misogynistic podcasts when they talk about, you got to don't let them take away your masculinity. I'm like, don't have masculinity either. Like, because you're still in your feelings, because what you're doing is you're bashing women for the ones that you chose. You know what I'm saying? Where's your accountability for the things you do? It seems like nowadays so many men blame women for their problems, but acknowledge you chose to deal with that. You know what I'm saying? And not to put my business out there, it's the same thing with my ex. You know what I'm saying? I chose to deal with that. That's where I have to be accountable. Even though shit went wrong and it didn't work out, it is what it is. But it would be fucking hypocritical to be like, say it was all on her. No, it was on me because I chose to deal with it. And that's the thing. When men are in their feelings, you're very dangerous. The most dangerous thing in society is an emotional men.
It honestly is. Again,
they're not rationally thinking.
There's nothing wrong with being in touch with your emotions, but what's happening is that men are being expected to be emotional.
Archie said it. Having to prove that you're masculine just shows you really aren't.
And that's honestly the truth.
One of the things that irritates the fuck out of me is when I hear, I'm a real nigga.
Yeah.
If you got to establish and say that you're a real nigga, you're not.
Other people should be calling you a real nigga.
For real.
Is the thing.
At the end of the day, I will never say that. That's up for you to decide.
Yeah,
I know who I am.
Like, you can feel that way about yourself, but to brag about it.
Exactly.
Like, what are you posturing for?
And before everybody wants to say, you're just hating on, and I'm going to say this 1,000 times, anybody's capable of saying real shit. That's easy. You could talk the talk, but not everybody walks the walk, and that's the society that we're living in.
That's
what makes me so worried. Especially, it's like, dog, you could talk your shit, but if you're not backing up what you're saying and the content in your character goes against of what you're illustrating, you are pretty much cancer to me. Because what you're doing is you're setting us back. Like, I hate when men talk shit about women, but you still deal with them. Yeah. You talk shit about women, but you were birthed out from a woman. So let's not act stupid. It comes down to, if you hate the way women are, blame yourself. Because if we as men, if we run the infrastructure, we basically built this world, we're condoning that behavior. And the thing is, a lot of times, especially with your generation, no disrespect, guys, the fear of being lonely is what condones that behavior.
No, yeah, and that's what drags men and women into OnlyFans and things of like the debaucherous nature. Mm-hmm. And so here's a little news flash for you guys that haven't been caught up with what's currently going on. So they're making the new Indiana Jones movie, right? Mm-hmm. They are making this movie, but what's going to happen, or what was originally going to happen before it got out, was that it was going to be another bait and switch. Right? Yep. If you saw the trailer, the granddaughter, that's not even his granddaughter, that's just some random chick.
Oh shit.
Yeah, some random chick. And so it was leaked that it was in the test screening that the ending to the movie was that so the movie essentially old Indy would go back in time with this girl. He'd meet his younger self. They'd go through the adventures. And the ending of the movie was that young Indy would sacrifice himself for the girl, and it would end up erasing him from the entire timeline, and then she would take his place.
Facts.
And that got out, and people were up in arms.
Just to go in the comments, Michael goes, don't say men are on OnlyFans are the consumers.
No, Michael, that's what I mean. That being afraid of being lonely is what it's just driving these young men to pay for these OnlyFans content to get their virtual girlfriend, to get their fix.
Go hunt,
but
they don't even know. Like the modern men now, they don't know how to interact with a woman
because there's no real reward to it anymore.
Like
there honestly is no real reward to interacting with women.
It's like, it's not even about having chivalry. It's just be yourself. What's with the gimmicks? Like one of the things, I'm a hip hop head, right? Yeah. And one thing that I find hypocritical is I can't respect you as a man when you're bragging about diamonds on your neck. Diamonds are a girl's best friend. When, like, growing up, being a street kid myself, growing up the way I did, the ones that I looked up to, the real bosses, how they showed their status was, you see my wife, you see the car she's driving, brand new. You see that house? My kids go to a private school. You basically show your worth as a man, and this is just my opinion, by who you bless and what you're able to do. You know what I'm saying? Not what you're able to obtain and brag about. Men don't give a fuck about materialistic things. As men, the way that I grew up was basically, how I make my move is what I'm able to do for those I love. And that's what was respected. Now it's completely backwards. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You got these men making songs being emotional as shit. Like, I know y'all like Drake. But imagine, the man just got a jewelry made for the 42 times that he thought about proposing. That just shows me you're the problem. Like, if you're telling me you have gone through 42 women, right? Make a jewelry made and none of them, that means you're the problem. Where's your accountability? Where is it? You chose that. Own it. But don't basically try to play victim and say, oh yeah, these hoes ain't loyal. Maybe the women that you choose, but there's honestly some good girls out there. They're hard to find because niggas is in their feelings.
Yeah, and Andre hit it right on the head. Modern men and women do not know how to interact with one another, on a one-to-one basis. They don't know how to do it, bro.
I think that has to do with, like, the social anxiety and the dating apps nowadays.
But the reason why social anxiety is so rampant is because we're not expected to interact with each other socially anymore, because you can get all of that online or just by paying money to get that experience.
You just turn on a screen, and that's the thing. Like, at least for me growing up, if I like you, I interact with you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't just, I remember, I was talking to a chick, and she was an assistant manager for Chase. And, I got the number. We were supposed to go on a date. I got an Instagram. I like 3 pictures. She texts me. She's like, oh, you must not be feeling me. I'm like, what the fuck you talking about? She's like, yeah, because you only like 3 pictures. I'm like, that validates whether I like you or not. How about the fact that I got your number? How about the fact I set up a date? How about the fact that I hit you up and I asked you about how your day's going? That's how a man shows interest. But now it's status.
But let me tell you, definitely, like, this is definitely that happened a lot when, I don't know about you guys, but when I was in high school, if I, like, the only way that I would find out if, like, a guy liked me in, like, my grade is if he followed me, like, all of my pictures, or, like, if I had over 100 pictures, like, as many as he possibly can, and then I'll be like, oh my God, like, that's the hit. I know, but I'm just telling you, I'm letting you know.
The experience of a woman, because fucking heck, dude, only my boys
I'm just letting you know, I'm pretty sure from the story you told me about that woman, that's probably like
what was going through her head.
Yeah.
Like Michael said, you're an exception to the rule. That's not a lot of men. And if you're a man on there, your demographic is going to be gay men and older women, more than likely. Younger women don't give a fuck about that.
They don't care about having an OnlyFans, is what he's saying.
Well, yeah, because the thing is, here's the thing with OnlyFans, and listen, I respect everybody's hustle, right? But what women need to understand, when you do OnlyFans, you're telling the world your price. And as a street person myself, as a street nigga myself, you never name your price. You never let the world know your price.
Don't you think that's more like business than it is more like price? Because if you think about it business-wise, if you like have an OnlyFans and you put up a too high price, like that's kind of like a risk. Oh, like how am I gonna get so much money?
No,
Whereas
exactly.
if I put like a low price that's kind of like reasonable, then I get more.
The thing with OnlyFans is that it depends on there needs to be an oversaturation in the market.
And then remember, like we talked about it before. The thing is, what are you willing to do to bring it to the next level? Because you're selling yourself. Like, here's the thing, like, and I'll say it 1,000 times. Muhammad Ali said it best to his daughter. His daughter was wearing like revealing clothes and whatnot. And he was like, I don't want you to go out like that. And she's like, why? And he's like, where do you find treasure? Buried deep. Where do you find diamonds? Deep into the earth. Meaning a woman is God's gift to man. Let's be 100. Y'all are our companions. Y'all basically motivate us. Y'all are ambitions. And it's correct, right? When you're giving that out so easily, why would a man feel he has to work for that when you're giving it out? That's a privilege.
But here's the thing. What's happening now is that there's an influx of people who are willing to give their hard-earned money to these e-girls. Yeah. There is a pandemic. Yeah, there is a pandemic of simps out there, and these women don't respect these guys. They only see them as walking wallets. And here's what's going to happen. Let's forget about how it's going to be bad for your future relationship or whatever. Or let's forget about the price or whatever, or how it degrades you. Literally, what it does to the male mind and the female mind is that
it numbs you up.
It makes you numb, and now you only see each other as transactional instruments.
Like materialistic.
Yeah, literally. What that means is, women only see men as wallets, and that's our fault. Yeah, and that's the side that you don't get for the women. They no longer view men as even human. They don't even see it.
Not all, but from the majority that's how it is.
Like, what I mean by that is, like, these OnlyFans girls have seen have gotten the most depraved, the most disgusting requests that you could think of for money. And now, whenever they think of a man, they can only think of the deepest, disgusting parts of a man's fucking psyche.
Instead of like pleasure, it's business now. And it's nothing. It waters down the fabric of a relationship. It's like, listen.
So let's say she does wise up. Let's say that she finally decides she wants to get out of OnlyFans or whatever. Let's say she wise up. It's there. And let's say she does find a man that accepts her for. Let's say she finds a man that she respects. And he respects her, and she loves him, and they love each other. Right? What's going to happen? What is going to happen, or more likely is going to happen, that because of what she had done for money, being able to connect like that with her partner is going to be near impossible.
Yeah, because there's always going to be a question in the back of your mind, like how do we adjust to that? And again, it's bless you. It's not to bash these women. Again,
honestly, it's not.
I understand, but you got to give yourself a chance.
You got to look up for yourself.
Especially these young women. Give yourself a chance to experience life.
Jason, the thing, I understand your guys' point of view, and you're making very valid points, because from at least a male standpoint, I understand that a lot of you think that way. And this also goes back to what I was saying before about, like, me minding my business and people do them, and, people learn from their mistakes. And you are right. At least as far as, like, I don't have OnlyFans, I don't know about the platform that much, or like the policies, how it stands. And I can only imagine the toll that it must take on the person doing the OnlyFans, because that's just women, and it's not just about provocative stuff. Because OnlyFans is like a subscription-based like website. I've heard.
So here's the thing. OnlyFans was mainly created for adult content. It was straight up created for adult content.
Another thing, it hurts us as men, and the reason why it hurts us as men, and I say it 1,000 times, women need to feel wanted, men need to feel loved.
Right.
And our love language is in a physical, sexual way. But and when you're giving that out for a price, what's supposed to feel special for us is now watered down.
And literally that for men and women, it rewires your brain and how you perceive reward. Like, if all you need to do is like click a button to get like a personalized I love you message, right? You no longer feel the need to go out and get it yourself.
Yeah, it's not real.
This is very generalized. We won't know until we actually...
Well, 10 years from now, we're going to see the effect.
We won't know until it's too late.
Yeah, because this is an unprecedented time. Like, of course, there was like, prostitution in like the olden times. But now in the social media age, like, We don't know what's going to happen in the future.
But the thing is, there are plenty of instances where, you know, like you're a cam girl or a dog star or a former prostitute. But
I can respect that though.
So
I can respect that
while it is respectable because it is an honest profession, you actually have to go out and, like, you know, put yourself in danger. What I'm saying is this: you have these people, most notably Mia Khalifa, right?
God,
you know, they made the choice to do what they did, and they reaped all the benefits, but the bill always comes due.
Yeah.
And so what I mean by that is, and you heard that she had gotten married, but she got divorced because the husband couldn't take it, that people were sending him photos of his wife getting reamed every day, right? Yeah. Lana Rhoades had a kid with Blake Griffin. She was with the father, she was with the father, but now not anymore because, well, of course, she's an adult film star, and nobody wants her name tied to that.
But what I find I would say confusing is there is a market for people who love and enjoy this provocative scene and watching this, but then you
popularized and I am not blaming these women only.
But not just women, like actors or people who are in this profession.
It is the people who are in the profession and the people who continue to uphold this profession are to blame, and they will destroy each other. But the thing is that it's being popularized in modern society, like, right?
It's being condoned.
Like, to be funny.
I think it's mostly because of the money. Because it makes good money.
Like OnlyFans, this kind of nonsense would not have been popular if the moral fabric of this society wasn't crumbling in real time. Mm-hmm. You know, like back in the 60s or whatever, when people believed in God and stuff like that. Ain't no way, bro. Ain't no way that's social suicide. I mean,
Do you think that, like, the standpoint that you guys are making about women, do you think this also applies to men who are also in the same scene as women?
Yes.
Because, let me piggyback off. You know why I respect prostitutes and strippers more than I do OnlyFans?
Sex workers, I think, would be more
sex workers
technical term.
And the reason why I respect those who do it versus OnlyFans is because the placebo of OnlyFans, they are basically in denial about what they're doing. At least a prostitute and a stripper, she knows exactly what she's doing. You get what I'm saying? She's not denying that. But if you basically talk to OnlyFans, I'm a content creator. No, you're prostituting.
Oh, you think it's the delusion?
There is because they're making so much money, but it's like, I'm not fucking anybody, but you're exploiting yourself. You get what I'm saying? If anything, that's worse because you're in denial about it and you're not willing to lay in the bed that you made. And that's what makes that whole situation hypocritical. And the fact that a lot of women don't want to acknowledge that, they're the same ones who end up crying at the end when they can't find a good man. Because guess what? Us men, we're territorial. If you want to hurt a man, you go after what he loves. Yeah. And when you put yourself on a platform where you give people ammunition to hurt the person that's with you, why would I want to put my emotions at risk like that? Why would I want to put myself in a situation where to hurt me, all you got to do is show me pictures of my
girl's butthole,
or my ex's dick,
or my guy, or my boyfriend getting pegged or whatever. Like, the thing is, you could love someone. That doesn't mean you have to be tortured for loving them. You know, it doesn't make you a bad person if you don't want to put up with the bullshit.
That's true.
It really doesn't. I'm not even saying this to bash women or to bash.
No, we're just basically being real.
Like you have to be honest with yourself, and there are plenty of things to do in this world. And bro,
give yourself a chance.
Yeah, give yourself a chance. There are plenty of women who, as soon as they turn 18, they fucking make an OnlyFans, dude. Yeah. That shit is
bad. It's terrible. And also, you represent your family. But on that note, we're gonna do final thoughts on it. Final thoughts, love.
Honestly,
remember we were talking about how the movies are pushing an agenda. So essentially, what I want to say is movies are pushing an agenda that's destroying the pillars of society, and until that changes, we're gonna fucking fall into a deep chasm. And they're also they used it to ruin He-Man. They used it to ruin Star Wars. They used She-Hulk. They ruined She-Hulk. They ruined
Star Wars.
So you haven't watched that yet.
You haven't watched the
That's
new
gonna be
Star
your
Wars?
project.
No.
Oh wow.
No, it's my current project, you guys. But I don't know about
It is.
the ending.
We're
All right,
Obi-Wan.
right.
We're going by order.
So your final thoughts on this?
We went on another tangent like we always do, but yes, Ben made some very valid points on terms of like the movie industry.
Just look out for yourselves. Don't let the fucking brainwashing get to you, bro. You know what was a good movie, but it wasn't a good movie? Black Adam.
I didn't see it.
Black Adam was.
Look,
I'm not gonna spoil it. It was an okay movie,
I like
right?
spoilers.
But the reason why I like it more than what's currently out there, like the Marvel nonsense, is because it doesn't push a message. It's just a movie. Like literally,
it's entertainment.
It's entertainment. Like the whole point of the movie, like this is the main theme. An oppressive force comes into a country, and the hero stops the oppressive force. Black and white.
But you know what they say, right?
What?
If you live long enough to be the hero, you live long enough to end up being the bad guy.
No, my question is in terms of movies pushing like an agenda, I can see how that's bad because if you cross the line, then it like pushes a bad agenda. But like this happens a lot with kid shows, for example. You want to push like positive messages so that way it like subconsciously, kids know, oh, this is wrong and this is right and this is good manners. And I guess when you're an adult, movies do the same thing to push like a positive message.
Because you're more conscious now.
Because you're more conscious. But I guess you're talking about like bad agendas.
Yeah, bad agendas. But even then, because plenty of movies back in the day, dude, entertainment shapes society, right? When movies like fucking Taxi Driver, American Psycho,
Pretty Woman, when he wipes up the hooker,
Pretty Woman, like bro, there are plenty of movies, and I'm guilty of this myself. You cannot tell me that you don't go into a movie. You watch a character and you fucking download their personality within the 2 hours that you're fucking watching it. And even if you don't do it one for one, you take bits of their personality that you thought were cool and you apply it to yourself.
Oh, guilty.
Right? Think about it. What about you, Ray? Final thoughts?
The movie industry and everything, how it's going right now, honestly, it needs to keep it a little bit more traditional, a little bit more realistic, a little needs like
a revamp.
A revamp, yes. Women are strong, but in their own ways, not the same strength as men.
Yeah, you cannot say that. Yeah, you can't say that women are strong and men are demonized for their attributes, but then give women the attributes that you demonize in men and say that, hey, look, this is a strong woman for you. Like the new movie, like the reboot of Charlie's Angels. Oh, like God. They have these chicks, these I think Kristen, the chick that was in Twilight.
Yes.
Stewart?
Yeah, Kristen Stewart.
Yeah, so like they have her and like these two other nameless guys. I don't know who they are, but they're going around beating the shit out of dudes twice their size. You know, it's like
as much as it's fun to watch, it's just like not realistic. No, I mean, because you made a good point in the anime that you were watching, like you have to be smart analytical.
It has to be. You have to make it so that I don't have to defend my disbelief. Yeah. Like it'd be one thing if it was Wonder Woman. She's literally a demigod. Yeah, it makes sense that she could pick a dude up and snap him in half over her fucking shoulder because she's literally a demigod.
Oh, and for those who don't know, Wonder Woman is actually bigger than Superman size-wise. Because
she's tall as fuck.
Oh, right.
She's tall as all hell. But when you have people like fucking, I remember the show that really upset me in regards to the disbelief was Miss Marvel. I'm sorry. This is the last one. Was Miss Marvel? What was a Pakistani girl. So like she was, what do you say for the most part? She was kind of plump. You know, she kind of had a figure on her. So when I see her doing all these amazing things, running from rooftops, jumping around like it's crazy. It's like, bro,
turn it off.
You don't have the figure for it, bro. You don't look like someone who's athletic, is what I'm saying.
And that's the thing. They try to include everything.
And I get that, but like superheroes aren't shaped like that, bro. And I would find it more believable.
To be a winner, they got to be a loser.
For real. I'd find it more believable if like they sent her through a montage where she was training her abilities and she. You know, like, and she did go through a montage.
A small one.
A small one, though, but not the one where she was doing the shit that she was doing at the end of the series, bro. I'm just saying, she's fucking running, you know, punching and fighting and shit. Like, where did it come from? You know, I just saw her train for like 5 minutes, and now she's like super capable. Like, bro, like, come on. she's fighting against the Department of Damage Control. She's literally a 16-year-old in the show, a fucking kid, but she's able to outsmart a government organization. But like, come on, dude, you gotta make it make sense. I get it, it's a comic book, and you're supposed to suspend your disbelief. But if they're trying to make the MCU as believable as possible, and I can't fucking believe that shit.
You're not Peter Parker. You're not giving a backstory where she got that.
And like, it says nowhere. I mean, like, they changed up her powers. So like in the other thing, she was kind of like Mr. Fantastic. So it makes sense that she has like augmented strength. But still, like, it's not. It's stuff I believe. So that's just me.
On to the next topic. This one is actually mine. Why is it damaging to be shut down and guarded after a breakup? If I may.
Yes.
Right. And I say this to my viewers, especially me after getting out of my recent relationship. I notice what men do, and it is detrimental to our health in the sense of we all go through heartbreaks, right? And the thing is, women are quick to find love quicker than men. That's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? When a man goes through a heartbreak, we'll be in solace by ourselves for a hot minute. Women are not wired the same way that we are. And we see that all the time. But the problem is when you shut down and you keep yourself guarded, you lock yourself because that feeling, that heart that you have calcifies. And what you end up doing is you put yourself in a depression state of mind because you end up becoming judgmental because of what you endured with one person. And we don't talk about that. And one of the main problems is because we don't expel and we don't basically express ourselves of what we went through. So what ends up happening to us as men when we shut down, it's like we go off the grid. Yeah, and it destroys us slowly. Like it eats away at us. And the fact that we don't talk about it, it's scary.
I think it's more often that men, they would go through one of the most traumatic experiences of their lives and just go, well, that just happened, and then just move on. You know?
But that's the thing, we don't move on.
No, but what I mean is when I say move on, it's like when I say move on, it's like, yeah, this fucking sucked. Oh well, life goes on. You know?
And the thing is, it's like, yo, you know how many times, and this is both male and females, where your trauma from the past relationship you force onto the new person, and that's not right. And that's why you have to basically expel and you have to express yourself. Because imagine you meet the right woman, your trauma has now basically fucked her up because you're not even giving her a chance. It's like your mind's made up because you're so damn guarded. And when you're guarded, you have to understand, bro. For me personally, I refuse to be like that because I learned from my lesson. I'd rather be hurt 1,000 times than basically be guarded, because at least I know if I got hurt in the process, I know my love for that person was real.
You know,
you know what I'm saying?
I can say that I have been in that situation where I let my trauma get in the way of a relationship, but it was for good reason. Because it's just like maybe like a year or so ago, I was talking to a girl, and initially we were just talking, and then we started getting intimate. But before that happened, there were parts of her personality, her demeanor, that reminded me like one for one of my ex.
And it's traumatizing.
And it was really weird to me. So I just told her, hey, look, if we like move forward, this isn't going to get serious. We're just going to, you know. Like,
but you see, you cut yourself short doing that.
No, but listen, here's the thing. Because I noticed parts of her personality that I didn't want to deal with on a relationship level, I let her know. I was like, hey, look, if we continue forward, it's going to be here. We're not going to get here. And then, of course, she's going to ask me why. And I was going to be real with her because I knew that in my mind I wasn't going to date her. I was like, hey, look, you're reminding me of my ex, right? And she says, hey, that's not fair because you don't know me. You can't compare me to an ex. So I was like, okay.
But it's trauma.
No, it is. And also like, okay, all right. Let's forget that I said that. Let's actually try. And lo and behold, I don't want to say it like, you know, you expect the worst. Yeah, but I was fucking right. You know, like I was right.
But
you know?
That's the thing. I feel like you got it. And this is me at 35.
Like,
I learned you got to let go, bro.
No,
because
and I did. And what I realized by spending intimate time with her rather than just like hooking up or whatever was that holy shit, did this girl make me fucking miserable? You know?
Well, dude, I'll say it to my viewers, man. And when I say that, and the trauma that we go through as men, again, I'll say it 1,000 times. Women need to feel wanted. Men need to be loved.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that women don't need to be loved. But what happens when a woman in a relationship doesn't feel wanted by her man? She shuts down.
Yeah.
Or she'll go look for it.
Yeah.
When a man doesn't feel loved, he feels disrespected. He doesn't feel valued. And then as we get deeper into it, after you leave that relationship, it's almost like a bad stigma. You know what I'm saying? And at 35, I'm learning this now, because when I was younger, going through the heartbreaks that I went through, you know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, I fucking looked for reasons not to. You get what I'm saying? And that is cancer, bro. Because the only way to honestly know what you're made out of, you got to fucking challenge yourself, and you got to get hurt in the process. You know that whole saying, what doesn't kill you make you stronger?
Yeah.
Well, I say what doesn't kill you can leave some fucked up scars, bro. Straight the fuck up. It can leave some fucked up scars.
Mr. What's It To You says, you'll always find something if you're looking for it. And that's true, but imagine you're trying to, you're right, like, Lewis, he said he did the so-and-so.
Because
Why?
it's
like,
borderline.
It's borderline, because imagine, right, you're trying to move on, right? You're opening yourself up to new experiences.
But there's a fear.
To different kinds of people, but then, like, here, the fucked up shit comes that you're not looking for, right?
Yeah, there's gonna always be something different.
There's always gonna be something different, like
you just have to learn how to like you're in a relationship and this person ends up hurting you, and then you later on you get triggered by that person, like Ben's story. But in reality, no matter what person that you're involved with, whether if it's casually or seriously, this person's gonna no person is perfect. They have flaws.
No, of course.
And of course, if you do go looking for something, you're gonna find something small or big.
One thing I told myself,
for sure, two things for certain.
One thing for sure, two things for certain. When you're in a relationship, if you want to make it work, you better learn to love that person's ugly. You have to love their ugly. You got to love the good with the bad. Because if you're only selecting the good, you're only lying to yourself. Because when thing goes wrong, you fuck yourself.
My thing with that is there are certain behaviors that are indicative. No, there are certain behaviors that are indicative of what your future could be with that person. So my thing is, if I see certain behaviors in someone new that I witnessed in someone that I had dealt with that I'm no longer speaking with, is because these are, I'm not talking about like pet peeves. I'm talking about like actual red flags, actual red flags.
Yeah. Instead of like, you're going to be involved with a person in the future, instead of looking at it as, oh, I don't want this person to do that because it reminds me of my ex. No, make a list of your like red flags and be like, okay, I'm like this girl that you talk about. Okay, I don't want to take things too seriously with you, not because you are my ex, but because you, of course, you did things that my ex are doing, but because I don't like those things done to me.
It's not for me.
And I'm not going to ask you to change who you are fundamentally in order to fit my...
You know what really hurts? Yeah. And I think I speak for a lot of men. Us men, we don't get mad about the things we did in the relationship. What fucks us up is the things that we were willing to do. And that's something that I feel that women don't understand completely. Yeah.
Wait, repeat that again?
We don't get upset for the things that we did for you. We're upset of the things we were willing to do for you. And that's what kills us, because as we're in a relationship, we're doing all these great things for you, but we're not mind readers. You can't open Pandora's box, but like, especially with my ex, what I was willing to do for her is what hurt me the most. Because, she'll never know, but I know. Yeah. And because I know what I was willing to do made me feel like, damn, I'm fucking up. And what's wrong with me? Why was I even willing to do that? Yeah. And that's what traumatizes a lot of men. Some. It's like having no, we're gonna be final thoughts on it, Nate.
Honestly, Jason, I do agree with the points that you were making. It's
Mr. Gorilla. Breathe, brother. Thank you for covering your face.
I know. We love a good health.
You want to burp?
He's burping. I can't. Like, literally, it's helping. But like earlier, like last night, I swallowed a pill, and then it got lodged in my throat, and then
That's because you don't drink water, bitch.
I dry swallow supremacy, baby.
Oh my God.
Honestly,
And
I dry swallow my birth control.
It went away.
I don't have water.
It went away, and then you don't need water.
Oh my God.
What?
Oh my God.
It went away, but then like there's like a feeling that it's caught in my throat.
I hate that shit.
I hate that.
It's
But
been
That's
there.
the worst.
your final thought. So, how do you feel about what was discussed on that topic?
I have to gather my thoughts because sometimes we go on tangents. I do kind of forget, but I do agree with what you and Ben were saying, especially the part where if you're going to be involved with somebody in the future, first you have to heal. You have to really think about what these actions that your partner did to you hurt you, and to understand like either why they did them or
not be judgmental towards a new person.
Exactly, and just move on, let it go. Because if you start holding on to that grudge,
You'll never find peace.
You'll never find peace, and you'll never find happiness.
Like, bro, my ex fucked my best friend. Right? That's what happened.
Ain't your best friend no more, right?
Yeah, no. And it hurts, but I'm not angry at anybody. And and I had to let go of
you had to grow from that.
I had to let go of a lot of people that were involved in that situation because of how it turned out. And I'm not mad at any of them. But
there's still trauma.
No, yeah, it just hurts. But I'm not going to allow that because I'm already fucking crazy, right? I'm already paranoid and anxious, but I don't ever allow my own insecurities to be projected onto someone that I'm involved with, right? Because like, yeah, if you were cheated on or whatever, or like you had a girl that was like disloyal or whatever, you can then take that into your new relationship and like demand that you go through their phone or like you're controlling or anything like that.
You bring in new problems.
Yeah, literally.
Manifesting that problem.
It's hard because I actively repress those things about myself because of what I've been through, because that new person doesn't deserve that. You know what I'm saying? If you're in a situation where you're repressing these bad qualities because you want to grow as a person, but this new person is bringing them out, then you have to move on. That's what has to happen. Because if you're trying to grow past something that fucked you up,
nothing heals like time, baby.
You can't get yourself in a new situation that only brings it out more, right? And that's where it goes into the fear of being alone. You'll find yourself in situations with people that you don't fucking want to be with, dude.
Right.
And
because you're scared to be alone.
Because you're afraid to be alone. And there's nothing wrong with being alone. Like, take it from me, bro. Like,
born alone, die alone.
No, and
I don't say that in a disrespectful manner.
That's the truth. You will, even if
the choice is yours, though.
Even if we all fucking a meteor came and crushed us all together and we died in the fucking hellfire, dude, we would still be alone at death because we're not one like that.
Final thought.
Dude, damage, honestly, it could lead to a lot of trauma, right? But it could also lead to something you learn from. At least with me, is that don't give 100% of your fucking time.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Don't put your eggs in one basket.
Exactly. Because when you do and that basket falls,
shit,
you're fucked. And that's what Jason said, the things that you're willing to do for that person,
Yes.
And that doesn't mean that you're fucking selfish with your time either, but you just have to be realistic. You have to be able to set those boundaries. It's okay to spend time apart from your partner or the person you're talking to or your friend. Yeah, it is, because
then you miss them.
When you hang around someone too much, or at least for me, when I hang around someone too much,
you adapt certain behaviors that fuck you up.
Not only that, it's because I'm crazy. Right? It's because I have the uncontrollable need to push people away who get too close to me. I don't know why, but
well, you know why. You just don't go deep into.
Yeah, my brain knows why, but I don't know why. I don't actively know why, but my brain knows why it does it. And so literally what I do is I start to look for reasons to get that person away from me. Right? And it's not, and it really fucks me up. So I always make it a point to take time to yourself, to just get back in touch with yourself. Like I have friends, my best friends they're all in fucking Casa La Pinga, Orlando. I love these niggas, bro. but I could not spend an extended amount of time with these guys. I couldn't do it with anybody, dude.
Like,
And that's just how I
you
am.
make good points, especially with like our best friends. Like as much as we love them, you know.
Yeah,
well, my boys don't understand. Like, I'm a loner. Like, that's just how I've been my whole life. And it's not that I try to, you know, be that person, but like even as I'm rebuilding myself now, the trauma that I endured, and I speak for a lot of men when I say this, a lot of us really want a companion. We want a best friend. We don't want to be players. We don't want to be 50 hollering at bitches on the street and shit. Yeah. Real men, real shit, we want to basically have somebody who has their best interest at heart. And the thing is, you have a lot of men who say, oh, yeah, I just want a real one, but are you willing to put in the work?
You see, okay, there was this video that I saw. I think I sent it in the group chat. I don't know if you saw it, but it was a point being made out to men who like have hard struggles in life, and then they have a woman in their life. But this woman literally is by their side through thick and thin and goes through all their struggles. And this man recognizes that and then wipes her up. But it's not until like in the end when he goes looking for like another woman. So it's like he settled for the woman that was there for him because he was like, oh, like no one's going to put up with me, but she did. So I'm going to marry her. But then I'm going to chase after the woman of my dreams or chase after like a good time.
Go for the woman that likes you. Don't go for the woman that you like. Because when you go for the woman that you like, she's not really attracted to you. She's not putting in effort. The woman that likes you is going to be met halfway.
You also have to, you have to find her attractive as well. You know, this is,
you know, and I'm talking spiritually and physically. Because when it's just physical, that's temporary, bro. That's
exactly. Physicality is temporary.
I mean, I would like my partner to like me because you can love someone, but it's more important if they like you.
I want them to like being around me.
Well, I'll be real.
Because if you're gonna spend the rest of your life with your partner, you have to like them.
Yeah.
At least you should.
I feel like if you're gonna spend the rest of your life with your partner, you got to be understanding the yin and yang. And then I say all the time, the problem with relationships is, especially in the modern dating scene, you get with somebody and it's like a boat. You know what I'm saying? You're on the boat, and before the boat even left the dock, both of y'all are in the lifeboat. And the reason why relationships don't work now is no one's willing to go down with the ship. And like a lot of my homies are like, oh, why'd you stay so long? Because I love her. And because I love her, my partner was sick. You got to fight till you can't fight no more, bro. And that's the thing. I'm a fighter. I'm not going to give up on you because the world gave up on me. And I know what that feels like.
At least in that instance, you can say you did everything you could.
Exactly. I could wash my hands. There's no what ifs. Yeah. But on to the next topic. Why being in your feelings could sabotage your blessing and potential. If I may take this one again.
Yeah.
When you're in your feelings, bro, like I said before to you, it's like you're impaired. You get what I'm saying? That trauma, it could open doors that you don't want open, and it could close doors that you need open. Yeah. And a lot of times we sabotage ourselves, as Ben said, because of the trauma we have. We look for those problems. And it's the same thing with work. It's not only in relationship. You had a bad experience at this store. The next store you go to, you're going to feel some type of way. You're looking for it. And when you don't heal, that is the one thing that fucks you up. It's like, imagine having an injury, right? I got out the hospital. I had a broken chest, the whole nine, right? Because I was basically so much in my feelings, I sabotaged myself because I didn't give myself enough time to heal, worrying. And we do that subconsciously.
We let our emotions cloud our judgment. And when our judgment's clouded, we're not thinking logically.
That's just human nature.
Yeah.
But we know better.
We should know better. But in the heat of the moment, when you're just traumatized, triggered, and in your feelings, you just can't help but shake it. Like some people are better at it because they're good at, like, they've practiced or they've had enough life experience to not let their emotions judge their clown.
They become dangerous as well.
Like being in my feelings, like when I say I'm the black sheep, I have been fucked over by a lot of people who I thought were my brother. I've been fucked over by a lot of women who I thought would basically have my best interest at heart. And I cannot change. The one thing I learned in life, you can't let the actions of somebody who did you wrong dictate your life. Because when you do, that's self-sabotage. You block your blessings. What they did to you, you got to fight till you can't fight no more. And when you don't heal, that is the one thing that fucks you up. It's like, imagine having an injury, right? I got out the hospital. I had a broken chest, the whole nine, right? Because I was basically so much in my feelings, I didn't give myself enough time to heal, worrying. And we do that subconsciously. We let our emotions cloud our judgment. And it's the same thing with work. It's not only in relationship. You had a bad experience at this store. The next door you go to, you're going to feel some type of way. You're looking for it. And when you don't heal, that is the one thing that fucks you up. It's like, you got to find peace, and that's between them and God.
Mm-hmm.
However, you got to continue living your life, bro.
Yeah.
Because if you're gonna there's a saying, when you're in a relationship, the one that cares the least holds the most power. Why is that? Because the one that cares the least never cared anyways. You know what I'm saying? It's like when if I give you a car, right, you're gonna run that bitch, you're gonna dog it out. But if you had to put in hours, you had to work your ass off for it, you're gonna respect it. It's like when you get a car, who's the ones to fuck up your car? It's your friends. Because they didn't have to put in the work. They didn't have to sacrifice the hours. And it's the same thing with your life. As you let people come in, I don't expect anybody to ever be like me. That is hypocritical and that is narcissistic. That's like being a narcissist all day. However, when it comes to basically sabotaging myself, we do that shit so quick because it gives us an out for not wanting to deal with the trauma that was there before. Because the thing is, it's like, you know, imagine a fear of heights, right? You fell from a high height. You got to get back on that ladder. You got to go back up. It is better to challenge yourself instead of asking yourself, what if? And we live in a society which is okay to ask yourself, what if? That's not a way that you're not living life at that point. It's like living in a bubble. You gotta open yourself up. Stop sabotaging yourself. Okay, you're scared. But guess what? The beautiful thing about being scared of something is the fact you get to embrace it. You get what I'm saying? And it's balance too, because guess what? When you're fearless, you're also arrogant. You get what I'm saying? You're not acknowledging your situation. You're not acknowledging what's good for you because your mind is already made up before you even been talked to. And that's something that we do now in society that's so fucking crazy that it's like, you know how many times we wake up, we just don't want to deal with people? Why is that? Because we're still hurting. And I think, like, with all the topics that we talked about, what I'm now realizing, bro, we got to heal, man. And part of the healing process is talking about it. You know how many motherfuckers right now, and I know y'all seeing this chat, we're talking about it. And it's healing us as we speak right now. Because I always say 1,000 times, yo, we're form of energy. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying to you, what I'm saying to you, what I'm saying to you, and what I'm saying to him, I can activate you, I could deactivate you. And the choice is yours. You know what I'm saying? Your experience of what you went through is not the next person's reality. But because misery needs company, we force that pain that we have onto the next person. And if that person cares for us, they're going to absorb it and we sabotage them. That's why if you notice, like when you're in a relationship, you automatically hate your ex, your girl's ex. Why? Because they cause pain to the person you care about. But the person that received that pain never healed, and it compromises the new person that you're with. That's a problem, bro. That is a fucking serious problem.
You know what this feels like? It feels like we're all your kids and you're telling us a story time. Because you have so much like wisdom, and we're just there like,
hey,
Jason,
it's more so like
I've been through a lot, and I'm gonna continue going through a lot. But right. I feel like what I have to do different, and this is me speaking as a human being, not even as a man. My truth is my truth. I don't force that on anybody.
Right.
But if I want to basically make things better, I have to be an open book, and I have to be willing to talk about my problems. Because somewhere down the line, imagine how different your life would be if somebody opened up about their problems. Straight up. So on that note, I'm going to close this out.
Okay.
There. So again, we thank you guys for tuning in, man. We hope that you enjoyed this segment, and make sure if this is your first time, you hit that subscribe button. You can follow me at Logic142 on, Instagram.
Sir Daniel Ben on Insta. You already know how it is.
Don't find me on Instagram. I'm kidding.
El King Rey on Instagram.
El Rey de la Selva.
And as you know, this is one thing for sure, two things for certain. We love y'all.
Good night.
Later. I love this one. This one's pretty good.
I was fucking sweating.
It gets a little warm after.
Yeah.